All right, guys. So this story right here is absolutely hilarious. As LaChina James, his debut box office movie, Space Jam 2, a New Legacy. I guess it's technically Space Jam 2, right? I don't know. It's bombing at the box office, right? I heard last week that it was getting terrible reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, that it was an absolutely horrible movie, right? That his acting was bad, right? His acting sucks, which honestly, I'm just not surprised, right? I mean, LeBron James, he tries to be a man of many talents, okay? He tries to be a basketball player. He tries to be a politician. Now he's trying to be a movie star. You know, when you spread yourself a little bit too thin, you're just not going to be good at everything, man. You're just not, right? Sometimes you got to stick with one thing and just do it, right? That's why I try to tell people, when Lauren Ingram told LeBron James to just shut up and dribble, that was not an insult. That was actually the best advice that she could give him, okay? And, LeBron James did shut up and dribble to a certain extent when it came to China, right? And it looks like, even despite this movie bombing, and despite the fact that LeBron James willingly bent over and took it from China, right? China is saying no to having that movie open in its theaters, okay? Guys, I mean, just imagine all the backlash that LeBron James has got from being a puppet, a pawn of Nike Incorporated, right? And in virtue of that, being a pawn for China as well, okay? All that simping, right? All that hoeing, just to be denied an opening for his debut movie, right? The movie that's supposed to put him on par with Jordan, right? Because that's supposed to be LeBron James's career path, okay? He's supposed to be like Mike, but an upgraded version. However, it just seems that he's just a knockoff at this point. Whether it comes to playing basketball, whether it comes to movies, whether it comes to being a businessman, whatever, right? He's just not on par with Jordan on anything. So let's read a little bit more about what's going on here and go from there. The Space Jam sequel starring woke NBA star LeBron James is on track to lose more than $100 million after being shut out from communist China and scoring anemic numbers at domestic theaters. Wow. This movie is going to lose over $100 million. That's embarrassing, bro. That is absolutely embarrassing, right? You have a star like LeBron James in this movie, and it's going to lose $100 million. That means you failed, dog. You just failed. You just set money on fire. The hit to Space Jam: A New Legacy is particularly bad news for James, who infamously pandered to communist China and turned his back on freedom protesters in Hong Kong. Outkick founder and radio host Clay Travis summed up the damage to James and the general silence from the media about it Wednesday on Twitter. Quote, despite LeBron James shutting up and dribbling for Chairman Xi, China still won't allow Space Jam 2 to air, meaning the movie is likely to lose several $100 million. Should be a massive story. LeBron bent the knee and China still spurned him, yet media isn't covering it, Travis said. Space Jam 2 cost $200 million to make and market and will likely only make 60 to 70 million without China, he continued. Meaning LeBron's movie will lose over $100 million at least. China blocking the movie is a huge story, but no one is even discussing it in the media. Strange. Wow. That's actually pretty interesting. For as much as, LeBron, pandered, right, to China at the expense of, patriotism, his fans, the NBA, ruining the NBA in the process, okay? They still decided to deny that movie being played in their country. And it just goes to show that you can be loyal to China, but China is not loyal to you, right? Jack Ma found out the hard way, bruh. They took him off the scene for a few months. This man is a billionaire. If they can screw over Jack Ma, they have no issue screwing over LeBron James. Matter of fact, this could be a message to LeBron James, just to let LeBron James know, hey, you've been a good boy, right? You've been a good boy. You've stayed in line. But, just in case you get out of line, this is what will happen. We're going to just punish you anyways. This is preventative maintenance, right? This is how they keep their pawns in line, right? And this is kind of what LeBron is probably experiencing from China right now. Very well possibly could be, right? They're no joke. They're no joke. Quote, LeBron ripped the First Amendment in the U.S., declined to speak up for basic human rights in China, and shut out and dribbled for Chairman Xi, all to get Space Jam 2 on in China, Travis added. And LeBron now can't even talk about the movie being banned because he's still afraid of upsetting China. Damn, that's actually a really good point. LeBron James should be speaking out about this, right? Like, you made this movie, right? You put in $250 million to make this movie thinking that it was going to air in China, and then comes time for that to happen. China's like, nah, you just burned $100 million on fire. It's kind of messed up. And the fact that LeBron's not saying anything about it shows you just how much of a simp he is for China, right? It is what it is. John Knowlton at Breitbart reported Saturday that the sequel died at the domestic box office its opening weekend, pulling a pathetic $32 million opening. By comparison, all the way back in 1996, Michael Jordan's original cleared $27.5 million on more than a few thousand fewer theaters, Nolte emphasized. Just to produce the flick, he said it cost $150 million, and that doesn't include the promotional cost, which easily puts it closer to $250 million. Quote, plenty of movies die a domestic death at the box office, Nolte explained. However, they can still become profitable and declare themselves a worldwide hit, thanks mainly to China's mammoth box office market, which has saved many Hollywood blockbusters from financial catastrophe. James's movie was denied a Chinese opening, though despite his pandering to China most only, James left then Houston Rockets GM Daryl Morey to dangle after he committed a grave sin of expressing support to Hong Kong protesters, the Daily Wire's Megan Basham reported. All right, so not only that, right, the original Space Jam director is also blasting LeBron James' movie as boring. He says, quote, LeBron James ain't Michael, right? Ain't Michael. He ain't Jordan. Joe Pesci, who directed Michael Jordan in the 1996 hit Space Jam, unloaded on the Weather Borders back sequel, saying one huge problem with the film is LeBron James is no Michael Jordan. Pesci is no fan of LeBron James starring sequel that opened last weekend. Pesci does not think that Space Jam: A New Legacy measures up to the original, saying he could barely get through it in one sitting. The truth is that LeBron ain't Michael, Pesci told TMZ. According to the outlet, the director said the movie was so boring that it took him 5 sittings to get through the film. The music video director also had harsh words for the film's version of cartoon legend Bugs Bunny. Bugs, Pesci said, quote, look like one of those fluffy dolls you buy at a airport gift shop to bring your kid when your business trip has taken too long. Pesci is not alone among Hollywood insiders who are critical of the new film. Indeed, most of the critics panned the film. The Warner Bros. Release was slammed with some of the worst reviews of the year, with critics calling it a stinker and a big fat airball. One reviewer even colorfully explained, it all feels like Warner Brothers ingested and emitted and vomited up all their intellectual property. Oh my God. Okay, so I actually watched the trailer of Space Jam, I guess the first one and the second one, and honestly, guys, I am a 90s kid, but I don't really remember Space Jam all that well, right? I have vague memories of it. I watched the trailer and I was like, ugh. They used to make movies like this back in the 90s? Like, this movie don't look all that great either, right? And then I watched the new Space Jam with LeBron James, that trailer. I didn't watch the movie. And that looked just as bad, right? I mean, again, LeBron James looked like a terrible actor, right? It just didn't feel natural for him. Okay, it just seemed forced. I didn't really watch that trailer and come away thinking like, okay, oh, this is a movie I really want to watch, right? I came away thinking, oh, this is a movie that LeBron James is attempting to act in, right? That's probably kind of corny and probably not all that funny, right? So, I mean, I guess the reviewers are saying the same thing, right? The reviewers are saying the same thing, and it has bombed at the box office as a result of it. Probably, I mean, the pandemic probably has something to do with it. I'm not sure how many theaters are actually open, but at the same time, it's like, wow, China really screwed over LeBron ultimately, because China was supposed to save the day, and ultimately they're not. So it just goes to show, man, Simping for China does not pay off. It does not pay off. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.